So we have understood the first two properties, right? We have understood how does a function is assigned to a variable, and we have also seen how do we define one function inside another function. Now let's understand the third property of how we can pass a function as a parameter to another function. Function, parameter, don't get confused. It will be very much easier. Now let's go for implementation part where we are using the same script file, right? So let me just close the quotations here and just keep it here, so that we'll just keep the third property. The third property is passing function as a parameter. That's a very simple name we can give, passing function as a parameter. That means it's not a nested thing. Nested thing is already done. Now it's in another property where we are trying to leave. So passing function as a parameter. Now just close the quotations here. So what do I do is I just try to define a same program where I just give the function name different. So I just give code. So my function name is code and I define some argument as D. So define code and I write the doc string as understanding third property. So clearly we are writing every description. So just make sure for an understanding purpose you can do anything. So what do I do is I just return, I want to return some greeting like hi plus I want to use the above argument D, because you just make sure that you need to use the argument, right? This is one function and now that function is done because you have returned it, it is done. You need to call the function. So when you call the function, when you give print of code of anything with string, you get the result. That is fine, you already know it. So I just wanted to give Gnan. My function, first function is code, second function is Gnan. I don't want to give any arguments here. I just leave as it is, where I just return hope you are doing well. Hi, hope you are doing well. That's what greeting I want to give. I want to get the result. But how do we get the result? Because this is a different function, this is different function, both are different. But now what do we do is we just make some simple logic where we call display function, sorry, we call code function. Always I'm just thinking a display function, should have finished demo. So we call code function and we pass Gnan as the parameter. We pass Gnan function as parameter. Is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible. Let me prove it. So I give print of code of. So code of is expecting one argument because it is D, right? So if you give anything like code of Saket, so obviously what happens? It is hi plus Saket, you get hi Saket. That is what you have learned till now. You see, hi Saket. When you give directory, you have two functions, code and Gnan. That is simple, which you have already know. But now instead of any other string, what do? I just pass the function which is Gnan. If you pass like this, that means you are passing a name only. That's it. You're not passing the complete function. You just pass the function name. You see the difference now. When you just execute this, you are getting an error. Can only concatenate string, not function, because it is returning hi plus D. You are passing only Gnan. You are just giving the name of a function. We don't need that. You need to pass the function by giving parentheses. Now you see, understanding third property, the doc string is perfect. So instead of D, you are giving the function called as Gnan. It is clearly returning hope you are doing well. Very good. Now when you execute this, you can clearly understand hi, hope you are doing well. That's what. Even when you run the directory, you can clearly see code and Gnan, both the functions directly, right? What happens if some user is returning some other thing like a number? What is the logic over there? Now clearly you will be getting an error for sure, because a string and a number will never ever concatenate, right? So that's where you need to check all cases and just give in the format of str. That's what we have seen in previous program, and now also you can do the same thing. Now user can give anything in return in Gnan function, you get the result. See, hi 25, and even if I comment this and uncomment the above thing, it's already a string. So str of a string is always a string again. So check all possible cases and come to a conclusion. So here we are passing Gnan function as a parameter to code function. That is the reason passing function as a parameter is clearly validated here. So make sure parentheses play a very vital role. If you miss parentheses over there, it's done. That is the reason a function will only concatenate when you just call the function. So here, when you call the function, it is not function concatenating. The string which is returning from the function is being concatenating to code function which is returning hi. So hi plus hope you are doing well. This is the third property. We need not use every property at a time because we have understood the importance of arguments, the skeleton which is in the function head. We have seen the function body part, that is global and local variables. Now we are assigning each and every function property. That's where assigning function to a variable, function defined one inside another function. Third one is passing function as a parameter. So make sure you try to understand each and every property very clearly. Practice once again, just make it very simple.